Hey guys, and welcome to one of my videos on Autopilot. I'm going to try to create a series where I document how Autopilot progresses. So this currently is on firmware 2017.46 and it's running on Autopilot 2.0 hardware. And as such, this is actually my first video on Autopilot. So let's see how it goes. The road I will be driving today is not that long, but it's got lots of points where Autopilot just doesn't know what to do yet. We begin with this straight here, which is nicely marked, no issues, Autopilot on. So we can see the car in front is starting to slow down and is going to drive off, and the car waits a bit too long before it starts accelerating again. It's not really an issue, it's just a normal driver would have hit the accelerator again before the road was completely clear, because you know where the other car is going. So for today's drive I'm going to take a road that's a little bit more challenging for Autopilot, which is why I'll be taking a right here in a few hundred meters. Alright, so here we go. So usually this would be just about where I turn on Autopilot, but there's a car parked on the side of the road. Let's just pass that first. And as you can see, there are no markings in the middle on this road, which is something causing a little bit more trouble for Autopilot, and it's not really that wide either, so you really have to drive on the lines, on the lane markings on the side, which isn't really a problem for human drivers, but Autopilot is having a bit of a struggle with it, and it also uses the middle of the road actually as a separate line or lane marking. And this hill is also a typical pain point for Autopilot. As you come over the top, where is it going to go? You can see me holding the wheel because I know it was going to be an issue, and it was. The car tried to pull to the side, so I enable Autopilot again once I've centered it. And here it's actually doing quite well. It's not pulling to either side, it's staying fairly straight, and it's driving close to the lane markings, which it should, because as I'm meeting cars here, it's fine when you meet a car, it's not so great when you meet like a trailer or a bus or something like that. And for no reason at all, it goes haywire. So Autopilot goes off just as I'm about to go into the first turn. Yeah, and I could have turned it on right there, but I know it would have accelerated like crazy, and there was really no point in testing it. But now we try again. And so the car pulls quite far to the right and actually tries to go over the lines, and there isn't much of a road shoulder here, so I have to correct it, turn off Autopilot. I'll just try to get through these curves here first. I'll try to enable it again. But the road here has a speed limit of 80 kilometers an hour, and the car will try to go as fast as possible through those turns, and that really doesn't make you feel safe when you got the Autopilot engaged. As you can see, I'm driving like 50 and 60 through the curves here, and I really wouldn't want to be going much faster, especially not if you want to drive comfortably. Alright, so enable Autopilot again, and as you can see, it starts accelerating up, but it really doesn't take in the curve and consider it, it just goes full blast. Let's try again. So it swerves a little bit off to the left, which I have to correct because we want to stay on our side, especially with vehicles coming up. And now it actually doesn't allow me to enable Autopilot again for some reason, at least not for now. And Autopilot becomes available again, I enable it, and pretty quickly it again loses the road markings or something, which causes it to be disengaged. And so the main issue really is currently that it's not really planning ahead. It's not really thinking about, okay, so this curve is coming up and I probably should reduce speeds ahead of time. It seems like just to be driving in the here and now and not plan ahead at all. So this is something that maybe could be fixed with mapping data. Maybe GPS data isn't accurate enough to use right now, or maybe they're just not at that phase, but that's something I really hope they would implement already when I had Autopilot 1, because although like in the beginning they didn't do anything like that at all, but over time it did slightly reduce speeds on curves, but it was nothing. It was only like on a highway curve, you know, nothing like your local road. So with these curves right here, the car swerves a little bit too far to the left first. Now it's a bit too far to the right, but it stays within the margin of error. So coming up here is like a combination of the issues that we've seen so far. It's both an incline with like a crest where the car doesn't see where it should go, and there's a curve in addition. So, and here there even are signs indicating that like you should reduce your speed. It's a sharp curve, and you know it just doesn't. So it just goes in doing the speed limit, and then for some reason it doesn't see what's up ahead, disengages. I have to take over, and then we can turn it on again. Right, so that's it for this short drive. It's really just to show like some of the issues that are going, and as Autopilot progresses I think those will be much more interesting, because we can see how maybe in like months, hopefully, maybe half a year or a year, we'll see how much better it can drive in those conditions, rather than just looking at what already works now and will keep on working in the future.